Well, Miss Honey and I were having coffee, but as soon as the camera came out, she went to go hide. Morning, everybody. Hope you're having a great day. Looks like a pretty nice one down here in Florida. And I got a lot of comments after the Glencoe video about the injection molds, which seems to be something a lot of us seem to have a natural interest in. And apparently, of course, every place is different. But when they set these things up, it's a lot like tuning an engine. Once you get the molds in place, you got everything hooked up, then you got everything adjusted, pressures, temperatures, times, and all that stuff. And there's a lot more to it. You don't just bolt on the thing and start shooting plastic. And of course, there are different kinds of plastic, which every one of them, every manufacturer has a slightly different formula, which over time you learn what the better settings are. But one of the other things is, for example, a lot of these places that might have 6 or 8 or 10 machines going, often they have a common source. So if you decide I'm going to take 2 machines offline, well, anytime a pressurized system, you shut part of it off or unplug part of it, it has an impact on the values of all the others. So it can take a while to get everything right. And even if you're using the exact same plastic, or I should say the exact same styrene in each machine, you can run into an issue with obviously a different mold, because each one has different crevices and what's working on what works with one plastic on one mold that has wafer thin parts that have to get the plastic, the liquid extruded all in there, may not work with another one that's using larger pieces. Plus, then of course there's the cooling issue. And as I understand it, if you cool it too fast, it shrinks, and if you cool it too slow, I'm not sure what the ramifications of that are, but also I believe it can have an impact on the brittleness of the plastic, although I'm not exactly sure what that relationship is. But the more I've talked with people, and I had a couple of folks that were have commented they've done injection molding or worked in shops in the past, and so if you guys have any input on that, put it down in the comment section. I'd like to know. One other problem is that especially with model molds, because you have so many fine surfaces and everything, is apparently it's not uncommon for some of them that may need a little maintenance to have areas where stuff sticks. And of course, if the plastic sticks, you've got a whole new problem, because then it's going to slow you up getting it out of the mold. Most of the footage I've found of mold machines has been making somewhat heavier grade stuff, like on RCs, which I would imagine it doesn't have as many subtle features. Although the ones shooting the EPO probably do, but EPO and styrene are 2 entirely different animals. But from what I have seen watching videos, the larger plastic pieces, or I don't know if it's actually polystyrene, but the large polystyrene-esque plastic pieces like RC aircraft are not nearly as finicky as, say, a kit model, which has much finer detail. I don't know what it is in the quality of the plastic that makes one brittle and one more flexible, although we all know that the clear parts are usually pretty brittle. But that's another thing. Sometimes they say, let's shoot some clear ones, and that's a whole nother animal, because now you're dealing with something that's far more brittle. So, like any other profession, shooting plastic is its own specialty, with all of its little quirks. And you get people who've been doing it a long time that really know what they're doing. You just can't replace that automatically. I'm sure there are some big industrial injection molding machines that are making like parts for cars or something, where they're cranking out 1 million of them, and and they have an almost unlimited budget, so they can get machines that are can crank out hundreds of thousands without any problem, with as little human input as possible. But that's just not going to work with the kit models. You're not making bottle caps. But so you guys know Glencoe is up, and there's a oh, now she's interested. She's curious what's going on. She's sniffing the tripod. Do I dare? Are you going to make your appearance on camera, sweetheart? No? Okay. Come on. There you go. Here. Oh, no, no, she went the other way. I thought she was going to come up here, and instead she decides to hop up on the old TV. The TV doesn't even work. Well, it probably works. We don't use it anymore. It's just a cat perch now. But, what the heck. She loves sitting up there and watching the squirrels in the yard. Somebody had asked about the Iron Giant t-shirt, and I don't sell anything, but if you guys want, you can either email or I'll probably stick them on the Facebook page. The logo. My sister-in-law makes these t-shirts. She just buys a material that's made for ironing onto t-shirts, and then she runs it through a printer. I don't know what program or anything she uses. I would imagine 5 minutes on the internet would tell you, but I think I've got everything on the Facebook page, but if you want the image, I'll be glad to send it to you. I don't dare make the Iron Giant one because that's still, I'm sure that's a very licensed property. But if you want to print your own, I don't think there's any heartburn in that. And wow, it's almost Halloween, isn't it? And I have no idea if there's even going to be trick-or-treating this year with the current situation. I guess we'll put some candy out just in case. But that's a thought. Put little model airplanes out there. Here, kids. No. Yeah, here's a piece of candy, and here's a model airplane. Go home and build it. Really gotta try and get kids interested in model building. And there are a few of them that are. Some of the things I didn't realize was I knew that companies that want to make model stuff that's in the public domain is, like a Mustang. Yeah, anybody can pretty much make one. What I didn't realize is that there are a lot of properties out there that the people claim the rights to them that don't really own the rights. They just claim them. And there have been properties like the Disney's put a lot of stuff out, and Disney figures if they put it out, it's theirs. But it turned out that some of the things, like the man in space vehicles from their old 1950, was it 55, 56 man in space program, those actually didn't belong to Disney. They belonged to Wernher von Braun. He was the one who had drawn all that up. So even though Disney made the cartoons, they didn't own the rights to it. And now you got companies running around buying the names to defunct companies, so that we've taken the rights to the name Consolidated Liberator. So now you have to pay us a royalty if you make a model of the B-24 and call it the Liberator, or otherwise, you just have to call it the Heavy Bomber. I mean, it's gotten absurd. That shouldn't even be allowed. But and my guess is, if it faced a legal challenge, it might not be allowed. But model companies haven't got the money for that stuff. It is a battle worth fighting. But see, that's one reason I won't have anything to do. I won't let any money come into this channel, is because the minute money gets involved, it just takes a zing turn. And that's one reason I admire these model companies, especially the smaller ones that operate on tighter margins, for doing what they do and putting up with all the grief. So maybe that's one reason companies like Atlantis and Glencoe and Williams, that they impress me so much, is that you're talking about people who really care about the subject matter. There's no other way they'd be doing this. Of course, you can always invent your own stuff. But the problem is would people buy it? And of course, a lot of the Japanese companies did that. You look at some of the wild sci-fi stuff some of these Japanese kit model companies came up with, and of course, a lot of it was for the Japanese market, and I guess that's just kind of something they're into. But nowadays, these old weird Japanese kits, you see them $200, $300, $400 on eBay just because they're so rare, and you're amazed at how much they actually made. Yeah, the beauty of plastic, man. If you can think it and you can cut a mold, you can make it. Um, I'm not sure if somehow I wasn't ordained with somebody said, okay, you can have a half dozen molds and here's a machine. I'm not entirely sure I wouldn't make something of my own design just to do something different and not have to worry about anybody coming in and going, that's royalties. So here's a question for the day. If you were going to make your own model, not pick a real thing, a Mustang or a Focke-Wulf or a Maserati, but said, okay, I want something of your own original design, what would you make your kit of? And you can bet mine would either be an airplane or a spacecraft. And but your imagination would be your limit. Would you make something goofy? Would you make something serious? Would you make a could have been, should have been, would have been? What would you make? Well, that's about all I got for this morning. Don't know when I'll get out to work on the models because we have life things that have to be done in the real world. Darn real world. And we will see you guys later. You have a great morning. And are you going to come over and say hello now? Are you going to come over and say hello? Oh, come on. Come say hello to the nice people. You're more popular than I am. Honey, the Lord and High Master. Guys, you have a great day and model on.